Good evening and welcome to the May 18th Council meeting. If you'd please all stand. Mayor Pro Tem Lucio is going to lead us in the flag salute this evening. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Mark. Okay, our first action this evening is a proclamation for National Public Works Week, which is May 16th to the 22nd. I'd like to call up Maria Frazier, our CIP Engineering Manager, and David Maccabee, our Public Works Services Manager. And it reads, whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewer, streets, and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. Public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vitally important to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of people of the city of Chino. And whereas the infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting the city's transportation, water supply, water treatment, sewer systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities that are essential for our residents and businesses. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emuloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim May 16th to the 22nd as National Public Works Week and presented this 18th day of May, 2021. Would you like to say a few words?
So thank you for recognizing this important week for a lot of us around here, but mostly for all our team in City Hall as well as in our yard. I recognize that we have a lot of projects going on right now and that traffic is an issue with the residents, but I promise you that we're almost to the finish line. And come July, you guys are gonna not remember how bad it was, but enjoy the benefits of all the new infrastructure that we will have. So thank you very much, Council, for this recognition.
So on behalf of everyone with Public Works Services who work every day to keep everything flowing, maintained, and clean, I really want to thank you, Mayor and Council, for all your support. It really means a lot to us, so thank you very much.
Thank you again for all your work. I know it's really difficult right now driving through our city. You can't get from here to there, but I promise you it will get done, and we'll all be happier when it's over with. So thank you very much. Okay. Next, we have the recognition of retirement for Elizabeth Valdez. Liz, would you come up with your family, please? Come on, family. Come too. They're shy. You are not shy. She says they're shy like me. I know better. Elizabeth Valdez has been an essential team member with the City of Chino since 1982. She began her career as a contract scorekeeper for the sports division of the Community Services Department. In 1986, she signed another contract to develop the Chino Recreation Drill Team. In 1988, she was hired as a recreation leader and was quickly promoted to a community services coordinator position and served a short-term assignment as an acting supervisor. Elizabeth successfully implemented various programs and citywide events such as the parade, snow day, Toys for Tots tournaments, Chino Run, Skate 5K, 10K, Corporate Challenge, Movies at the Park, Halloween Spooktacular, Walnut Park Dedication, Monte Vista Park Programming, and youth and adult sports programs. Are you tired? Yes. For the past 16 years, Elizabeth has provided outstanding support as a clerk typist 2 for the Community Services Department. Her extensive knowledge of programs, services, and events has been an asset to her position with the department. She standardized operational procedures for the clerical support team and played a major role in the implementation of 2 registration software programs. She provided excellent internal and external customer service. She took pride in her job, which reflected positively on the city's image. Most of all, Elizabeth loved her job, the people she served, and her city. Elizabeth, your 33 years of service has been invaluable. You've been an asset to the Community Services Department and the City of Chino, and you've taken pride in providing quality service to Chino residents. As you move on to the next chapter of your life, know that you will be missed and have contributed to the success of this, don't cry, of this amazing city. You're going to get me all lumpy. Okay, and I have the coveted city tile. And it reads, Elizabeth Valdez, Community Services Department, the City of Chino, on behalf of the citizens of Chino, wish to express our appreciation for 33 years of dedicated service you provided to the City of Chino and its residents. And it's dated today.
Told you I was shy.
And introduce your family.
Today with me is my husband, who's been retired for 4 years, which led me to, 2 years, which led me to this retirement. My son, Jacob, and my daughter, Janelle, and my lovely, wonderful mom, who has supported me through all this. I really didn't plan on saying anything except for I've been blessed and honored to work for a wonderful, I'm going to call it a company, because it is a beautiful city where we all live, and the council, new and past, mayors, new and past, have always been so supportive, especially for the department that I've worked in. But most of all, I've been so honored to meet and come across some wonderful people throughout my career here and able to raise my family. But my heart will always be in the Community Services Department, but I especially thank Public Works for working on the streets. And I would like to be the first one to say, as I'm going out, to congratulations to Walt as he comes in. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. Picture.
Thank you, Mayor.
We're so blessed to have such good employees. Okay, next is a really nice award. This is for the Business of the Month, May 2021. The City of Chino receives 50 to 100 business license applications monthly for the opportunity to call Chino their home. With over 6,500 companies doing business in Chino, city officials are challenged to name just one business month. A successful city needs businesses that provide products and services. These amenities are what attract new residents to the community and what continue to provide Chino that hometown character and personality for which it's known. For the month of May, we would like to congratulate All American Express Car Wash as our Business of the Month. I'd like to call up Managing Partner Sam Sousa, his family, and also Dickie Vandermeulen and his family. Come on up. All American Car Wash, Express Car Wash is a family-owned local business located in the Preserve in Chino that provides high-quality car washes and great customer service. All American Express Car Wash gives pride in being a Chino business, believing that giving back to the community is important. They've found much success in joining with their community partners, the Let It Be Foundation, OC Schools, and the Bridge Church to accomplish this mission. The reason All American Express Car Wash chooses Chino as a place to call their home is an all too familiar story. The families that own the car wash were born and raised in Chino and come from the dairy industry, where they are still operating. The Chino culture continues to foster a generation of those who were born and raised here and continues to be an all-American city. Let's congratulate All American Express Car Wash for providing such excellent service to our community and for being our May 2021 Business of the Month recipient. I would like you to accept this plaque as a symbol of our appreciation. And it reads, congratulations to All American Express Car Wash, May 2021 Chino Business of the Month. The City of Chino thanks you for being a part of the Chino community, presented this day by the Mayor and the Council. You're welcome. Yeah, you can. He likes that.
So this is, I'll introduce us. My name's Sam. This is my wife, Mandy. This is Dickie and Lisa Vandermeulen. So we just want to thank the City of Chino for supporting us all these years. We love doing business in the City of Chino. It's kind of like a meetup every time we're at the car wash because we know a lot of people there. You know, a lot of the council wash their car there. You know, they all support us. So we look forward to you know, giving back to the city and coming up with some. We got some cool fundraisers planning that we're coming up this year to support different nonprofits. So we look forward to doing that. Again, thank you for the support.
You're welcome. If you don't know where they're located, they're down on Pine Avenue in the Preserve, right? You want to give the address?
Yes, 7856 Pine Avenue.
Have to give a plug.
Just follow the Amazon trucks.
Oh, you are rotten.
No, they're taking Pine now.
They are taking,
Yeah,
well,
they're starting to follow the rules.
they're starting to follow the rules. That's good. It's taken a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So if you know anybody on our website, we are looking for new community partners. We have an application you can fill out. We have community partners on our kiosk, and we do give back 10% monthly for the memberships and the washes. So if you are part of any organization that wants to sign up for that, submit it on there, and we can get you started as a community partner.
Any more commercials? No, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down. Okay, if you operate or know of a business in the community that you would like to nominate for a future Business of the Month, please go to the City of Chino website to make your nomination today. We appreciate all of our businesses and look forward to hearing from you. Okay, next we're going to have the formal swearing in of our newest council member, Mr. Walt Pocock. So Walt, would you please come down? And I'd like you to call your family up to be with you. Come on, family. Chino's a family organization. Can't do it without family. Angela? Okay.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Please state your name.
I, Walt Pocock,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
nor purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
Okay, Walt, would you introduce your family, please?
Oh, I'll be happy to. First, I'd like to give my condolence to the Hargrove family. That Mark was a good man, and he was taken way too early. Okay, my granddaughter, Michelle Castro, my daughter, Sherry Tima, my other daughter, Robin Reyna, and my son-in-law, Jerry Reyna. And we have one more daughter that is out of town and wasn't able to make it. Thank you.
As many of you know, Walt has been involved with this community for many, many, many years. He and his wife, Dee, their name is on our Spirit of Achievement wall statue on Central Avenue. They were both a very integral part of our community, very important people. And it's a pleasure to have him on the council. He's our interim council member for a year until the next council election. So thank you for being here with him. Walt's the one that puts on the big corn feed car show. He's a very long-standing member of Kiwanis, had been on the Planning Commission for how many years?
21 years.
21 years on the Planning Commission, so this gentleman knows this community inside and out. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Little did Walt know when he was selected for this position that he would be getting binders like this every 2 weeks, plus another one equally as big for our upcoming budget workshop tomorrow. So, okay. Let's see, we did have closed session prior to beginning the meeting. I would like to ask our city attorney to report out of that closed session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council, and everyone in the audience. The city council met in closed session on all the items that were previously reported and listed on the agenda, beginning with item 1A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, City of Chino versus GH Dairy, with attorney Matt Silver attending by phone. City council received an update to the status of that action, and no further reportable action was taken. Items B and C were discussed together, being City of Chino versus Loring Wynn Williams and additional parties, and C, Cheryl Williams versus City of Chino. City council received an update to the status of those matters, and no reportable action was taken. Item D, FH2 LLC DBA Frontier v. City of Chino was discussed. City council, after hearing an update, provided unanimous direction, and no further reportable action was taken. Finally, the city council held a discussion on item 2, conference with legal counsel, one item of anticipated litigation under the heading initiation of litigation. Following a discussion by motion of Mayor Ulloa, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, the city council authorized the city attorney to file a legal challenge against Monte Vista Water District, if necessary, for its CEQA and related actions pursuing authority to provide sewer services within the cities of Chino's sphere of influence. And no further reportable action was taken, and that concludes the report out of closed session, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. City Manager Ballantyne, do we have any agenda additions or deletions?
Mayor, I have no additions or revisions to the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In this evening's packet is an information item, the Economic Development Report for April 2021. I encourage you all to read that report. It's very interesting. It also reports on upcoming events and road closures. Next, under public announcements, first, I'd like to announce a very important correction for this year's 4th of July fireworks spectacular event. Unfortunately, it was published in the Chino Connection that this year's event will be a 2-day event spanning from Friday, June 25th to Saturday, June 26th. This is not the case this year. There will be no event held on Friday, June 25th. Instead, this year's 4th of July fireworks spectacular will be held entirely on Saturday, June 26th. The event will be held from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Ayala Park, located at 14225 Central Avenue, with retail and information booths, family games, the band, Time Bomb, a military recognition, and of course, an outstanding fireworks show. Again, this will all be happening on Saturday, June 26th. There will be no event held on Friday, June 25th. Our staff will be sure to note the correction on our social media pages, and we apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. For all questions, please call 909-334-3258. Next, I'd like to let everyone know that the City of Chino, through the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act, is offering emergency rental assistance for qualifying residents. Recipients will receive a one-time rental assistance grant for up to 3 months. To be eligible, you must be a Chino resident, meet the income requirements, and have experienced an economic hardship as a result of COVID-19. For all questions about the program or its applicable qualifications, please call 909-334-3288 or visit www.cityofchino.org/CDBG. Also, I'd like to give an early reminder for residents to come out for Healthy Family Day on Saturday, June 5th, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Ayala Park, located at 5575 Edison Avenue. This event is being held in collaboration with the City of Chino and the Chino Valley YMCA, and will offer several fun opportunities included, but not limited to, entertainment, fitness demonstrations, health, fitness, and nutrition information, and water and environment information. For more information, please call 909-334-3258 or visit www.cityofchino.org/healthychino. And lastly, the American Legion Post 299 will host a Memorial Day service and 21-gun salute on Monday, May 31st at the Chino Community Building located at 5443 B Street in Chino, beginning at 10 a.m. Please note that this service will also be streamed live on the city's Facebook page at cityofchino.gov. For all questions, please call 909-334-3258. Additionally, please note that in observation of Memorial Day, City Hall will be closed. City Hall will reopen the following day, Tuesday, June 1st, at its regular operating hours of 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Next on our agenda is public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council about items that are not noted elsewhere. Unfortunately, we can't take action on an item that's not on the agenda, but we would be happy to hear your concerns. Our first written request to speak is Pastor Roy Robbins from Christ Lutheran Church. At this time, I'd like to invite all of those who would like to join us in the invocation to please stand.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight with you. I just want to say normally my wife's with me, and she's not with me tonight. Apparently we were at a function Sunday, and somebody told her that you can retire from being a pastor's wife, so go figure. That's why she's not here. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as this meeting begins. May there be meaningful discussion and resolutions rich in discernment. Fill us with compassion and insight as decisions are made that affect the city and beyond. Give to each member of the city council a spirit of charity and grace, and help us all to remember the least of these. Remind us that all that is accomplished here this evening is for the greater glory of you and for the service of our community and beyond. Lord, help us to be in this world, but not of this world. Your mercies are new each morning. Great is thy faithfulness. And we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Roy. It's nice to see you dressed up. He's my neighbor, so so he sees me and all my grubbies cleaning horse corrals and stuff, and I see him charging around his backyard or front yard. Okay, next on the agenda is a consent calendar. We will be pulling items number 2, 4, 6, and 8 for an action
Madam Mayor?
after the balance.
I think
Yes.
you have one more speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. In fact, I have several more speakers. Let's see. Steve Eli. I was just going to skip right over you.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, not a problem at all. Thank you for having me. It's really great to be here in Chino today and to see my good friend Walt Pocock being sworn in. When I first moved to the area and started to get involved in the community, Walt was one of the first people who took me under his wing and told me what it was like and how to be better in our community. So you're very fortunate to have him on your council, and I appreciate and look forward to working with him in this different capacity. I'm really here to thank you all. Today I glommed onto a tour of IEUA's facilities with your engineering staff, Chris's engineering staff. I know you have multiple engineering groups, but and I was talking to Councilmember Comstock over the weekend, and I encourage you all, if you want to come out, especially some of the newer council members, if you want to come out, we won't have a Brown Act violation. We'll do it 2 or less at a time, but what we've got going on down at our headquarters or next to our headquarters in Regional Plant 5, the expansion and growth of Regional Plant 5 is just remarkable. And the amount of energy and work that goes into maintaining critical services such as sewer services is really you have to see it to see how incredible it is. So I encourage you all to come out, and I know your engineering staff had great questions. They were very thoughtful people, and they really wanted to learn what's going on. And you know, out there, it's an engineer's dream because you've got structural, physical, mechanical, and every other kind of engineering, and they were talking above my head a little bit. But be it as it may, we at IUA really enjoy the continuing work and relationship with the great city of Chino, and want to continue that, both at the staff and the elected level. And I'm glad I got to be here for Walt's swearing in. So thank you all.
Well, thank you for being here, Steve. Next written request to speak is Stubby. But Stubby, we are going to pull 4, 6, and 8, so you want to address that when they're... Right. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to address Steve? Not address Steve, but address the council.
The other Steve. So I guess I just want to put my Youth Museum hat on first, and we have a virtual bingo coming up on May 21st, 7 o'clock on Friday for the Youth Museum. And yes, we are back open. That's a good thing. It's been 15 months, which is tough to be closed for 15 months. But yeah, hopefully trying to raise a few more bucks to, have to get some new stuff in there for the kids in the museum, and hopefully as the restrictions ease a little bit, we could have more and more kids coming in. Right now it's by appointment only, so you have to call in, and we have certain groups, and then as soon as they go in, then we have to, clean everything up, and then we can send more people in. So eventually, hopefully we can get back to a little bit normal and more kids in there enjoying the wonderful youth museum that we have. And then Planning Commission, put that hat on, and Walt, man, everybody. So yeah, Walt was, I remember going to my very first Planning Commission in 2001, and he was kind of the new guy, only there like 2 years, and you were the last one on the Planning Commission that I remembered my very first time going up there 20 years ago. And Mayor Ulloa, you're the last one here on the council, and Linda Takeuchi, she's the last one left on community service. She's the one that took me under her wing when I got on community services so many years ago. But I wish you nothing but success. Are you still on the design review board? Or no?
No.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. No, but we will love Walt. That design review board was just, as soon as we know that the projects went through the design review board and Walt went through it and checked everything and made sure every single, shutter and corner and, workbench for everybody to have for lunch. But Walt always just knew meticulously every single thing that had to go on everything. That way, when it got to the planning commission, it was so much easier for our job. And you guys are going to have a great council member here for the next year. And I just want to say good luck, Walt, and I know you'll do a great job.
Steve, where is the bingo going to be
Oh,
held?
it's a virtual bingo, so we could just sign up online.
Oh, virtual.
Yeah, virtual
Okay.
bingo. Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other speakers? That's the last written request. Yes, ma'am. Come up to the lectern.
Hi, my name is Sharon Duran. I've been a Chino resident for over 30 years, and I'm just here to voice my concerns about the construction zones. I live on 10th and D, and on March 18th, I was actually T-boned on Riverside Drive and 10th Street. And there was actually a construction worker crossing right in front of me, so I'm like being patient, there's the opposite way. It was flashing red lights, so four-way stop, right?
Right.
I'm waiting for the guy to cross. And as soon as I go, I'm going pretty slow because I'm like, I don't know if anyone can see me, those big machines and whatnot. And sure enough, I just saw a flash of red. And luckily, I was able to get the person to pull over. I was pretty hysterical because usually I'm a single mother of four. Usually 99% of I have at least one with me. And so the one that was with me was not, luckily that day, because I was going to pick up lunches at Chino High. And, I was pretty shook up. None of the construction workers came to see, are you okay? What happened? No sense of urgency. It's very upsetting when you know that there's like a million eyes that just witnessed what happened and nobody came to our aid. Like, nothing happened. Luckily, not luckily, but they had more damage than mine. But, I'm like, do they not have a mom, a daughter, a sister, a girlfriend, someone that they care about that's a female in a car alone, that they'd be like, oh man, shoot, can somebody go check? The project manager, whoever is the supervisor on site? Nobody. And this happened on March 18th. I got in contact with, what's his name? Isaac Ortega, I believe, about a month ago finally. And I only heard back from the direct person that was in charge of that specific site during that time, or it still is, only because I followed up 2 weeks later to Isaac Ortega to tell him nobody has contacted me. So had I not, on my own, followed up again, I really doubt I would have been in contact with anybody. And this worries me because I have a student that goes to Chino High. Usually, I just go straight through 10th Street. I grew up in the same household we're at right now, and I even he's like, you jinxed yourself, Mom, because I was like, there's going to be a car accident here, and it was me. So I had two students that are going to be in summer school. I'm going to have to keep crossing through there at least twice a day. And I say at least twice a day, and I would like to send them walking, either coming home or back, but he can tell you his own story about how he had to walk through Central because they had the open trench. And it's the same thing every morning. I had to detour myself to Central because it says detour through 9th Street. It's one way, one lane each way. Nobody's going to let you through. So I had to go all the way around, and I'm like, fortunately, I know, my ins and outs and alleyways here from being here so long. But even today on Chino Connect, and I came to City Hall in the morning with the little time frame that I have 7:30 between dropping them off and 8:15 that I had to get my other kids up for digital learning, my little window I have in the morning. I came and I told them, I said, the problem is it's so unpredictable with the road closures. I said that 10th and Riverside Drive, I said that I'm specific to that because that's where I obviously cross the most. I said last week it was open all week. On the weekend it was closed. So Monday morning when I take them to school, it's closed. Okay, I go around. Monday evening yesterday, it was open. This morning I got confident and was like, cool, we don't need to leave 15 minutes early. It was closed. And I'm like, Chino High is not going to take this into consideration if he's late, are they? Probably not. You got to get your kid to school on time. I said that this throws off the daily routine tremendously. And like I said, when I talked to them this morning, I said, either the city or the contractor needs to set up a website that has the daily road closure, because if it's changing day by day, sometimes twice a day, there really needs to be a way for us in the community to be aware of the situation. And I said, this is not working for anybody. And I posted that on Chino Connects this morning, and there's so many comments. And I wish you guys would go on there, or I could email it to you guys, but there's no one that's happy right now. You know,
No,
I
it's
get it needs to
difficult.
be done. It just, you know, we need to be able to communicate the road closure specifically day by day.
Okay, I'm going to ask staff to please look into that and see if there's a way that we can have better communication
Yeah.
about the closures. Sorry about your accident.
Yeah.
And I know it has been a pain for all of us too, but we're trying really, really hard to get these very important
No, I
public
get
works
that.
projects finished.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm just hoping it doesn't happen to me again. since
Well, I'm glad you weren't
I'm
hurt.
right in the heart
Thank
of
you
it.
for
Thank
coming. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. And again, we're pulling items numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8 for separate action. So I would ask for a motion on the balance of the consent calendar. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, second from Councilperson Comstock. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Next, we'll pull item number 2, which is the minutes. I was absent and will be abstaining, so I would entertain a motion for item number 2. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, second from Councilman Pocock. Please vote. Oops, I meant to abstain. Angela, put me down as an abstention, please. I'm used to voting. He can vote, yeah. Okay, next, we have a request to pull items 4, 6, and 8. Stubby, would you like to address those items? These all pertain to notice of completions on projects.
Are we going to have no staff report?
I thought I'd let you go ahead and make your comments first.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, these are all related. They are all public works construction projects, all 3 of them. I'm sorry. Item 4 is a notice of completion for MS 181. This is a local street overlay project where the streets were ground and overlaid at Magnolia Palms and at Chaparral Trails, 2 separate tracks. There are some, 18 to 24 street crossings that did not have curb ramps provided for them. In addition, the majority of the curb ramps were installed in the improper location. If you remember the presentation I did for you a few weeks ago on crosswalks, and I showed the aerial view of the crosswalks that were 25 feet away from the intersection, and a couple of photos where they were like 35 feet away. All of those photos came from this project. So the project is not complete per the law. The law requires that when we do an alteration, that we install curb ramps at every intersection, not selectively, and they have to be installed per the current code. This project started in January of 2020, which was after our policy went into effect and after the state code changed. So it does not comply. Staff is going to tell you that the contractor has done all of the work that the contract called for, and that is probably accurate. But the project itself does not comply with the law. Do you want me to comment on the other ones also?
Yes, please.
Okay. Number 6 is the alley. This is the alley that runs parallel with Central between G and Schaefer. One good thing about this is they cleaned up some of the mess on well site number 4. It looks much better. On the north and the south end of that alley, we have 2 driveways. They're supposed to be constructed by driveways as per our municipal code, long term. They were torn out and replaced in 2016. They were torn out and replaced again in 2017. And then they were just torn out and replaced again. This time they did much better, but the work was not complete. They still haven't taken care of many of the issues that first came up in 2016. One of which has to do with the tow yard there on Schaefer, corner of Schaefer and Central. We have a transition panel that's actually an abandoned driveway that's actually in the area where that gentleman has his towed vehicles parked on city property. And they still haven't addressed it. It's a blind corner. Number 8 is El Prado. El Prado has been a long-time project. It was supposed to be completed in 2019. In January of 2019, I redlined those plans, the very first set of plans, pointing out some major areas, and they've been completely ignored. In addition, we have the same situation. We have curb ramps that are designed in violation of the policy. We have curb ramps that were installed not in the crosswalks as per the policy and per the code. And we have crosswalks that weren't addressed at all. Similar to the intersections at Grand that we talked about. I know you weren't here, Mayor. We have the intersection at the corner of Prado and Kemble, where you actually have only 2 of the 4 crosswalks were installed. So I went out there today. I did a cursory review. They have done some corrections, but very few. Staff, I talked to inspection staff. Inspection staff has looked at these projects. They are kind of in a bind. Like, for instance, on El Prado, originally, they had a contract inspector. They ran out of money because the project ended up taking 2 years instead of 4 months. And so our inspectors had to step in the middle of it. Our inspectors do not inspect for scoping. If no curb ramp is shown on the plans, then no curb ramp is shown on the plans. All they're looking for is compliance with the plans and the technical issues. So a lot of these scoping issues are not the fault of our inspectors. They're the fault of the engineering department. Any questions?
Any questions of Stubby? Okay, I would like to ask for staff comments.
A couple items. I agree wholeheartedly with Stubby about the contractual relationship we have with the contractors. What's before you right now is the whether or not the contractor completed their obligation under the contract. Certainly, he's raising some issues. I appreciate Stubby and especially his advocacy for accessibility. Certainly, we're much better today than we were several years ago. I will say that before this was even placed on the agenda, 2 departments clearly are involved with this project. Public Works, typically, they design the project. They also manage the project to make sure they're in compliance with the contract. The Development Services Department, they oversee the inspection staff, so there's kind of a separation of the 2, and so they have inspected it, and they were comfortable with the way it was constructed out in the field. If there are other additional things that we need to do, certainly we can't hold up the contractor to fulfill those obligations, just so the public understands when the notice of completion is filed. Basically, it provides a lien period for our subcontractors to submit claims against the retention in which we're holding. We're holding roughly 10% of the overall contract. But if there are additional changes, those need to be made by the city, not necessarily the contractor. So, and I don't know if there's anything else on that you'd want to add.
Mayor and council members. So as far as the design goes, we also consult with development services prior to scoping the projects. And then whatever the scope is established at that point, that comes to the council prior to award of the contract. So these projects were built in accordance with the design that was approved at the time the contract was awarded. So just like city manager has said, the contractor has done his job. So what's in front of you today is just to approve that document so we can file the notice of completion and release the retention. Thanks.
So if there are corrections that need to be made, that will be made in the future as we, I guess, decide to make them.
We would be obligated to make those, not necessarily the contractor, and the contractor would submit a change order in order to make those changes.
Okay. Comments? Yes, Karen.
Mayor, may I make one final comment?
Sure, Stubby, go ahead.
Notice of completion isn't required. I think we've gone over this before. All the notice of completion does is shorten the period from 90 days to 30 days. I think, and I'm pretty sure in all of these projects, we're already over the 90 days, so a notice of completion isn't even necessary to be filed. I do firmly believe that the contractors have probably complied fully with their contract, but I urge you just to release the payment and not to accept these projects as complete.
Well, I believe that we're under an obligation to accept them as complete in order to free up the contractor.
That is correct, Mayor. That would be the recommendation for the reason your city manager expressed. It gives a limited timeline for subcontractors to file any claims against that they may have for monies owed against a contractor, and it limits that timeline so that it's a knowable period.
Otherwise, it just leaves it open-ended for any
For a longer period
subcontractor
of
to
time.
file something.
Correct.
So Stubby, I think we do need to file.
The notice of completion only shortens it from 90 days. If no work is done on the project, the contractors only have 90 days to file a stop notice, period. If after 90 days, the notice of completion is just a piece of paper.
Well, my staff is telling me that we need that piece of paper.
Yeah, and I'm sure they do. In 2016, they told you the same thing on the intersection of Riverside and Central, which to date still has not been finished.
Yes, and you understand there are mitigating
Thank you.
measures on that. Karen? Karen?
So when I was reading the agenda over the past few days and looking at these notices of completion, I actually took note that several of them were projects that are a couple of years old or in that range, 18 to 2 years old when we actually when they were actually approved. And this is just more public comment versus anything else, based off the action we're, about to take tonight. But I would just like us to see us be more mindful of these in the future, like we have in the past, like we've commented in the past. One of the things that came up at the last meeting was, looking at these a little bit more holistically. I know our staff is. I know that we've had a change of mindset, just like the city manager said about we're better today than we were. But Mr. Barr points out a couple of things that perhaps if we had looked at those, more timely, perhaps we could have gotten more out of those projects as well. So that's the only comment I'd like to make tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Well, and again, I think what we're trying to do is tie up some loose ends that have been hanging out there for a long time and finally close the door on some of these projects. If we have other work that has to be done, then that will be scheduled, but we have got to clear up these old issues. Okay, with that said, then I would entertain a motion for number 4, 6, and 8. Okay, there's a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Lucio. Is there a second? Second from Councilman Pocock. Please vote. And the items pass unanimously. Okay, moving on to new business. Item number 20, Memorandum of Understanding, Compensation and Salary Adjustments. This is to approve the MOU, Compensation and Salary Adjustments for Chino Police Officers Association and Chino Police Management Association. Our staff report this evening will be provided by our Director of Human Resources Risk Management, Mr. Anthony Arroyo. Anthony?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Presented this evening are recently negotiated 2-year labor agreements that were reached with the city's Police Officers Association and Police Management Association. The terms of the agreement result in a salary increase of 2% and a benefit bank increase of $50 for fiscal year 2021-2022, and the same salary and benefit increase for fiscal year 2022 and 2023. There will also be an additional $25 per month city contribution to each employee's retiree health savings plan in the Police Officers Association and Police Management Association. This additional $25 contribution will sunset on June 30th, 2023. In addition, POA personnel assigned to the Detective Bureau will be allowed to take home a city vehicle while on call. Lastly, each eligible employee of the POA and PMA will receive a one-time payment of $1,000 in hazard pay. The total cost of the agreement for this upcoming fiscal year is $575,000. As part of the negotiations, HR staff also cleaned up outdated language that was no longer relevant to current practices. As part of this report, I would kindly request of the council and that the city manager and myself be given authority to sign the MOU once they have finished reviewing the MOU, which was actually just earlier today. I received notification that they had reviewed it and were agreement with all the changes. And before I conclude my report, I would like to thank the following from the HR department: Debbie Pacheco for assisting me with the financial part of negotiations, and Jacqueline Lozano for laboriously organizing the negotiated language into the new MOUs. And I would be remiss if I did not thank the City Council for your continued support of our employees. Your appreciation of our employees makes my job as Chief Negotiator so much easier, and for that, I'm grateful to you for this. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from Anthony or comments? Well, I also want to thank both police associations also for working cooperatively with us.
Certainly, thank you.
We're all in this together to serve our community, and so that was very much appreciated. Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve item number 20. Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, second by Councilman Flores. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Thank you, Anthony. Next is Mayor and Council reports. I have 2 action items under my report. The first, item number 21, is Council Committee assignments for 21-22. That has been passed out to all council members. Would anyone like to address those council assignments? Any questions from council? You're all going to accept all the assignments, huh? Okay, entertain a motion, please. Motion from Councilman Comstock, second from Mayor Pro Tem Lucio. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. The second is our Planning Commission and Community Services Commission vacancy. We need to receive and file the resignation notices from Planning Commissioner Walt Pocock, since he's now on the City Council, and Community Services Commissioner Bernice Gray. We have established a schedule for filling those positions. Tonight we'll be receiving and filing the resignations. The openings for applications for those 2 positions will be from May 19th through June 4th. And if you'd like a copy of those applications, you can contact Angela Robles, our city clerk, or you can access them also, I believe, on our website. And then June 5th through the 20th, after reviewing the applications, I, along with my council liaisons to the Community Services Commission and the Planning Commission, will select and interview potential candidates. Those candidates will be nominated at the July 7th council meeting by myself for acceptance by the rest of the council. And then those vacancies will be completed. So I would entertain a motion to approve item number 22, accepting the resignations and also the procedures to fill the 2 vacancies. Motion from Councilmember Comstock, second from Councilmember Flores. Item passes unanimously. And for my report, since our last council meeting on May 4th, I virtually attended the Omnitrans Board of Directors and the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority Board of Directors on May 5th. May 6th was the Water Facilities Authority Technical Advisory Commission virtually, the Chino DeSalter Authority Board of Directors virtually, and the Inland Empire Utilities Agency Sewerage Policy Committee. All those were held on the 6th virtually. We had the American Little League ball field grand opening on Friday the 7th. I really encourage all of you to go visit those fields. They're absolutely phenomenally beautiful. I'm so very proud that we now have these beautiful fields for the kids to play on. On the 8th, we had the memorial service for Councilman Mark Hargrove. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was held at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, their big facility there, with a reception that followed at the Chino Police Department. I have to give kudos to Rita Pro. She did a beautiful job of planning that reception for Mark's memorial service. It was very, very nicely done. It was a beautiful tribute to a wonderful man, and we're going to miss him very, very much on this council. He was taken from all of us way too soon. On the 10th, I spoke to the cultural arts group about our downtown master plan, the status of that. And then on the 11th, very early in the morning, 6:15 in the morning, I attended the Chino Valley Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. It was attended by approximately 400 people, and the main speaker was Kurt Cameron, whom all of you may remember. He was a child actor at one time, and he's a devout Christian now. Wonderful speaker, absolutely phenomenal speaker, and it was very, very well attended. On the 12th, I had a conference with the mayor of Claremont and Jennifer Stark and Councilmember Corey Kaleke from Claremont. They wanted to talk about mutually interesting items around our valley, and they're interested in getting the mayors and some of the council members together across county lines to talk about items of mutual concern. So I think that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. On the 13th, I virtually attended the appropriative pool, Watermaster appropriative pool meeting, and then the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority Metro Valley work group. Then, let's see, Boy Scout Troop 201 had a pancake breakfast, a drive-through pancake breakfast on Saturday the 15th. Some of the tickets were not being used, and so they donated them to community services. I think there were 32 tickets that were donated to the Community Services Department, and what they did was they sent a city bus to get all 32 breakfasts, and then they distributed them to some of our seniors. So the Boy Scouts were very, very busy cooking lots of breakfasts. I think they sold something like 400 breakfasts, so they were very busy that morning. It was a great fundraiser for them. A lot of pancakes, a lot of sausage, bacon, and eggs. On the, let's see, today there was the Groundwater Recharge Coordinating Committee, virtually, I attended this morning, and then the Watermaster Budget Workshop number 3, and then, of course, the council meeting tonight. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. Mayor Pro Tem Lucio.
How's it going? I want to start off by, again, recognizing Mark Hargrove and his service that we had for him. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. I was out of town in Texas for my daughter's graduation, but everything that I saw, it was city staff did an outstanding job honoring a man that spent a lot of time and effort in ensuring that the lives of people that lived here in Chino were better. So I just wanted to thank the city staff for what you did. I think it was honorable. It was a great job, and thank you to the police department for hosting his service afterwards. I want to congratulate Walt. Welcome to the council. We look forward to working with you. Walt, you've done an outstanding job at the Kiwanis, and your corn feed run has always been outstanding. So I know you're going to bring that type of enthusiasm to our council, so I look forward to working with you. On the 10th, we met with the Chino Valley Unified School District Board. We had Joe Schaefer that we met with, as well as Superintendent Dr. Norman Field. I will say some of the things that they discussed regarding Chino High School and what they have planned as far as they have a technology component that they're going to bring in that's going to mirror what they have over at Shore High School. I believe that's in Fullerton. It just to see the enthusiasm that's going to be coming to a school like Chino, who for a long time was outdated and needed in dire need of renovations, to see the amount of money that we're going to put into it and reinvest into our school, and then put a program like that will draw not only kids from Chino Hills, but also people from outside our community here to Chino, I think is something that I look forward to. I mean, I got 2 little guys that are still haven't started school yet, but I mean, that'll definitely be an option for us in the future, especially if it turns out to be what they're describing. So I look forward to it. I think it's something that has been in the making for a long time. So hopefully everything continues on its path and it comes to fruition. On the 11th, I attended the Chino Valley Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, and there was over 400 people there. The keynote speaker, Kirk Cameron, I never heard him speak, but he's very, very an outstanding speaker, and just really motivated people to go out there and just do the right things, and challenged us as city officials to go out there and set what we believe is the agenda that should be, not just what's projected on the mainstream media, but you know what families want to see, and don't just accept what you're being given. You know, go out there and be a change maker. So I think it was something that he talked about. It was something that really motivated that crowd, and I really look forward to seeing that happen. And it's something that I'm looking forward to also trying to bring forward as well. I think family, community first, and if we take care of home first, I think you can't lose. So, and he was very inspired by God, and I think that's always going to be a good thing. I also want to recognize that this is the Peace Officers Memorial Week. I know it's been put off officially in Washington, D.C. until October, but it's something that you always got to remember, and that there's people out there that put themselves on the line and put their lives out there every day for our community. Chino PD does an outstanding job of being out there, and as our communities start to get more violent, and they are starting to get more violent, it's important that we support our police officers and let them know that we are supportive of everything that they do. So I fully support the department. It's my goal, and it will always be my goal, to give them the tools that they need to be successful. And I just want to always remember, and so that's why I'm bringing it up, always remember the people that have gone and paid the ultimate sacrifice. I really missed a lot of the events over the weekend. We came back from Texas. Everybody got the stomach flu, so it ran through the whole family. But we're all better now. But I definitely look forward to some of the events that are now opening up and being in person and seeing people again. And they're shooting for the June 15th, no masks. I like to see people's faces. It was definitely different being in Texas. Really, there's nobody wearing masks in Texas. We went to a Rangers game. It was at full capacity, and everybody was comfortable there. So I go to baseball games now. We're at 33%, but I look forward to one day being able to go back to 100%. But with that, I also want to say that I'm thankful for everybody that's up here. I look forward to working together now that we have a full council again, and hopefully we can move some things forward. I do listen to what Stubby says. I'm not sure who's designing the streets, but I know some of these projects were done 2 years ago. But I would really like to see, when we start designing these streets, that we really take a look at the accessibility, and that this goes into effect from this point forward. And I think I don't speak alone, but for some of the council members here, that if it's not what's supposed to be, you're probably not going to get it accepted anymore. So, but on that note, I just want to end. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. On May 6th, I attended the National Day of Prayer event here at the Chino City Hall. It was a well-attended and very nice event. It was nice to see the community come out and pray and worship and play music and so many pastors from the community came and prayed for every aspect of the city. And it was just a very nice day, and nice to see people out here worshiping and praying for the success of everybody, from first responders to this council, to just, guide Chino into the future safely and wisely. So I want to thank everybody who participated in that and brought that event, forward here back to Chino on this day. Later that same day, I virtually attended the Chino Valley Unified School District Board meeting online. I saw Mr. Schaefer at Councilman Hargrove's celebration of life services, and I mentioned to him and Mr. Bridge that it's really challenging for them. There's discussions from masks to no masks, or vaccines to no vaccines, or 6th grade graduations, 8th grade graduations, 12th grade graduations. So it really runs the gamut for them, and it's difficult. So they're making their way. They're back to school, which I'm proud of for the district, and I'm looking forward to September for them in a new year as that moves forward. But they also had some great news about their AVID program and the graduates, continuing on to college, and of course I support AVID in college as well, but also the trades and different things that the students are going on to. On May 8th, I attended the celebration of life services for Mark Hargrove. That's already been covered here this evening, but it was just a very, very nice event that staff put on for him and his family. They're great speakers. The pastor that oversaw his services did a great job, talking about him. Some of the people that eulogized him really did a great job. In fact, I even mentioned to the city manager that I thought he did a great job with his speech there that day. And Matt, it's okay, to be a crier, just so you know. So if you weren't there, one of Matt's comments, but it was very heartfelt, Matt, and great job. And then also, I know the mayor mentioned it, and so did a couple other people, but staff just did a great job. And Chief Simmons, thanks for letting us, host the reception over there. On May 10th, I, along with Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, we hosted a meeting with the school district here at the city of Chino, and we basically spoke about, actually, I'm sorry, I want to back up a little bit. It was with President Schaefer and the superintendent, and we basically talked about just various mutual operation issues that we share, such as communication, getting our staff back onto campus after the pandemic, and just development activity that I think is also affecting the school district in the future. And the conversation was good. I'd like to see us continue it. It ran the gamut from almost every subject to the work that's being completed and constructed at Chino High School to potentially a second school in the district. While we may not have agreed on every single subject, I thought it was a great meeting to get back onto communication with the school board to make sure that we have mutually exclusive goals in the future. So I want to thank the president and the superintendent for participating in that meeting with us, and I hope they continue. And on May 15th, I attended a retirement celebration for Chino Valley Fire Captain Chris Craig. Chris served our community for over 31 years, did a great job. I worked with Chris for many, many years. In fact, at one point during his career, he was a member of our SWAT team as a medic. We lost, 2 good employees here this week, Mayor, to retirements, and Chris, and of course Liz Valdez. I'm so going to miss seeing Liz at the Carolyn Owen Center when I walk in there. Just her service and Chris's service to our community. I want to thank them both for their exceptional service to Chino for many, many years. On May 17th, I attended the Planning Commission meeting here last night here at City Hall. We had a couple of important agenda items on the commission meetings agenda, so I attended that last night. I too have fielded a lot of concerns, as Ms. Duran spoke earlier, about road closures and traffic congestion and different things. Our engineers and public works and everybody's working hard to bring a lot of those much needed improvements to Chino. So as Ms. Frazier and Mr. McAbee said tonight, please be patient. Come July or August, you'll be happy that all those things are done. And thank you, staff, for getting them done. We really, really need those improvements. I also want to congratulate Walt and welcome him to the council. I've talked to many people about Walt's qualifications, and first meeting him as a very young police officer when he wanted to bring the corn feed run to the city of Chino. So Walt is a known commodity in Chino, and I'm looking forward to him being on the team. And now that the council's together again, moving things forward for the betterment of our community. So welcome, Walt. But just some condolences out to the DeWitt family. I realized that we lost Celia DeWitt in April. Celia was a longtime educator in the school district. She was actually one of the teachers at Dixon when I first attended there the first day it opened. And I went to school with her kids, Richard and Kelly. Richard was an exceptional wrestler, and Kelly was just a phenomenal athlete, a basketball player. So my condolences to the DeWitt family for the passing of Celia, and certainly to all of our colleagues and all that she did as gave to this community as an educator to the city of Chino. So thank you for her service. As Mayor Pro Tem Lucio mentioned, it's National Police Memorial Week. I was saddened this week when I was talking with the chief and the city manager about a different subject to learn that 2 police officers have been killed within a 24-hour period, and it wasn't even newsworthy to most of the news stations. And thank God for our police officers and our first responders, and thank God that we still have the National Memorial Week to honor their service and certainly those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So, Chief, to your team over there at the police department, we're keeping you in prayer every day, and we pray for your safety and your success every day. So, I know you and your team, and I know you're honoring all of them well. I think that concludes my report for tonight, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just want to start off by congratulating Mr. Walt Pocock. About a week ago, I said, Mr. Pocock, I'm excited to be working with you. I'm excited for this, new relationship we're going to start. And he looks at me and he says, he says something along the lines of, maybe you can help me out throughout this process. And I said, Mr. Pocock, you're going to help me out throughout this process. But anyways, welcome to the team, Mr. Pocock. Let's see, on May 7th, I attended the grand opening of the baseball fields 5 and 6 as well. On the 8th, I attended Mark Hargrove's Celebration of Life. On the 11th, I attended the Chino Valley Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. And last night, on the 17th, I attended the Planning Commission meeting. And just to kind of wrap up my comments here, I want to let Ms. Sharon Duran know that, number one, we always appreciate public comments, so thank you for coming up here, and thank you for mustering up the courage to do so. And just understand that, at least for myself, I really can't speak for anyone else. I do look at those comments on Facebook, so trust me, I understand exactly where you're coming from. But as we kind of directed staff today, we are taking that into serious consideration, what you proposed tonight. So with that being said, Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Member Pocock.
Thank you. Well, my first official event was coming into the National Day of Prayer. And I think I got here a little bit before Councilmember Comstock, and Rita was down there and handed me the proclamation and said that the mayor couldn't get here. Would you please speak to and welcome these people? The crowd, so that was kind of a trial by fire. I'm here 5 minutes and I'm speaking already. But it was a great event, I always enjoy myself and the family coming to that event. I attended the American Little League baseball field opening, and that's quite a facility. I'm sure that those kids will get a lot of great use out of that. On 8th, I attended Mark Hargrove's Celebration of Life, which was very well attended, and we had a lot of speakers, and as an emotional and moving event. And we're going to miss him. He was, like I said earlier, is taken way too early. He loved his family, and he loved the Lord. He loved the city. We were friends. We were friends even before he became a council member. On the 11th, I also attended the Chino Valley Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, and that was quite an event listening to the speaker, Kirk Cameron. And one thing he did say, I distinctly remember, because no one was wearing a mask, he said, "It's nice to see your teeth." And that concludes my comments.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for presenting the proclamation at National Day of Prayer. I think that's the first one I've missed in I don't know how long, but my husband had a medical emergency, and so I couldn't be there. So I know it was a trial by fire. I mean, you had just gotten sworn in by Angela like 5 minutes before, and then said, oh yeah, by the way, here, you need to present this proclamation. So thank you, Walt.
So Mayor, Walt walked up to me and said, hey, maybe you want to present this proclamation, Councilmember Combs. I said, oh, no, Walt, I think that's very appropriate as your first duty here for the National Day Prayer. And you did a great job, Walt, so thank you very much.
And then, so he gets to do that within about 5 minutes of becoming a council member, and then he gets delivered 2 gigantic 3-ring binders that he needs to read over a weekend. And it's like, well, be careful what you ask for.
Be careful what you ask for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to serve to the best of my ability.
Oh, we know you will. But there's a lot more work to this than what people really understand.
So I'm finding that out.
City Manager's Report, Mr. Ballantyne.
Thank you, Mayor. First, on behalf of all of our employees, Walt, we look forward to working for you in a different capacity. And we know you're going to do well in representing us. Secondly, I wanted to recognize Community Services Department for a successful corporate challenge. We had a couple businesses in town in the city of Chino Hills and Chino compete, and it was a great opportunity to network. At the end of the day, Chino Hills won the whole thing, so congratulations to Chino Hills. Anyhow, we'll get them next year. But I want to commend Community Services for all their efforts in putting that together. The last thing is, in one of my discussions with Councilmember Comstock, we had chatted a little bit as we wind down this pandemic about, what are we going to do as an organization. There were 2 resolutions that the council had adopted. One provided businesses with an opportunity or some variance from our sign code to allow folks to recognize that they were open, and so we wanted to support businesses. So that was one of the first actions the council took. Another action that the council took is they adopted a resolution related to outdoor dining. As we get closer to the June 15th deadline, which sounds like is the day that the state of California is going to consider backing off a lot of their restrictions, we're going to be putting together a package on winding back to follow our municipal code. So we'll probably put together a period in which we'll notify the businesses in advance. There's thought that we would give them basically 6 months from that date to allow them to kind of migrate back, but we also want to give them the opportunity to possibly, particularly like for the outdoor dining, to allow them to ream the possible benefits and generate some additional revenue for the losses that they've occurred. So we'll be rolling that out here shortly, but I just wanted to kind of put that on the table that we want to be working with the businesses as we get back to normal. And with that, that concludes my report.
Well, I think the outdoor dining, everyone actually ended up enjoying. And so I would look forward to allowing the businesses to continue that where appropriate. I think it was very enjoyable for a lot of businesses. Thank you. Mr. Galante, City Attorney's Report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Keeping on the theme of sort of the wind down of the COVID rules, the state legislature is considering actually 2 bills. One that is getting the most attention is AB 339. The governor had adopted executive orders that relaxed the Brown Act rules, as you know, so that council members could participate by phone and you didn't have to go through some of the burdensome teleconferencing rules of the Brown Act. This legislation would seek to expand those rules beyond the June 30 deadline of the or termination of the governor's order. It currently has a limitation that it only applies to jurisdictions that are over 250,000, have a population of over 250,000 people. So Chino could not take advantage of that, but the bill is still sort of in the legislature going through potential changes, so that may be relaxed. But so I'll keep monitoring that bill and letting the council know how that progresses. And I also wanted to say that Mark Hargrove's celebration of life was incredibly touching and really got me to realize what an accomplished human being he was and how just well-liked by so many people he was. It just made me admire him even more, but it was very well done. Your city manager did a great job on the eulogy.
He did. But when he walked up there with that great big binder, I thought, oh, for the love of God, what is Matt going to do?
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Isn't that nice? You know, it's really too bad that we don't learn more about people before they pass. We always learn so many important things at a memorial, and it's just a shame there's not a way to share that ahead of time. Chief Simmons, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And I'd first like to congratulate Councilmember Pocock as well and acknowledge that it's great to see another Chino Kawanian up there on the dais. Thank you also for acknowledging Police Officer Memorial Week last week, and I want to thank our community for their support last week and just point out that the city of Chino has lost 3 law enforcement officials during the course of our history. The first one is Constable Fred Bristol. Thursday, May 5th, 1904, he was stabbed here in the downtown area. Night watchman Charles W. Keller, he was killed by gunfire on August 13th, 1916. And then, of course, Officer Russ Miller, who was killed on February 1st, 2000 by a drunk driver. And I also want to acknowledge that our officer who was involved in the traffic collision today is doing okay and will be released from the hospital shortly. We're grateful for the support of our community and the prayers for that officer as well. So that's all I have to report unless you had any questions for me.
Any questions of Wes? No, thank you.
I'd also like to thank our partners at Chino Valley Fire for responding so quickly and taking care of that officer and getting them to the hospital.
Okay, thank you, Wes. And Nathan, are you here for the fire chief's report?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. Just a couple quick updates this evening for you. First, as mentioned previously by Councilmember Comstock, Fire Captain Chris Craig will officially be retiring on May 21st. So 31 years of incredible dedicated service to this community. So he will be missed and will be leaving a big hole personality-wise as well. So we wish him the best in his future endeavors. And then secondly, an important announcement that I'd like to make, the cardiac survival rates for the nation were recently released by the Cardiac Arrest Registry to Enhance Survival, also known as the CARES report. We are so thrilled to announce that the survival rate in the Chino Valley area in 2020 was 50%. This is more than double the average of our region. The national average is 29%. Our state's average is also 29%. In our region here in San Bernardino County, the average is only 21%. There are very few other fire agencies in the entire state of California that are achieving these types of results. The 50% rate includes the significant increase in cardiac arrest calls that we responded on during the height of the pandemic in December because of COVID-19. We have anecdotal evidence that shows us, sadly, nearly every one of our patients that suffered a cardiac arrest in the field with COVID in their system did not survive. This means that our rate is actually going to be likely significantly higher than 50% when the dust settles. If one of our community members suffers a witness cardiac arrest, they have a 50% chance of survival if it were to occur here in the Chino Valley area. That's an astounding number. We want to recognize the incredible efforts and sacrifices that our personnel make to ensure that we're always training and ready to respond to our community's needs. We also want to thank our community leaders, our partners in the business industry, and of course, probably most importantly, our community members for getting involved and becoming a part of the chain of survival. So incredible numbers, incredible news for us, and just want to continue to support the efforts of our folks and the collaboration with our communities, and it's remarkable. So thank you for that.
Now, the fire department has put on some very important training for the public. Are you going to continue to offer that training?
Absolutely. We just offered one on Saturday, and our community members were there learning CPR, and so we're going to continue to do what we can to reach out to the community and teach hands-only CPR. That's a part of that chain, and if we have community members, in this case, that rate is a direct reflection of our community members jumping in and initiating CPR prior to us arriving. So just an absolute collaboration that's going on, and I think we're going to be the example definitely for this region, and if not, the state and the nation. And so just happy to hear, but we're going to continue to strive forward, and we got to get those numbers up as well. So
Terrific. Well, congratulations. That's excellent news.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will be adjourning to our next regular meeting, which will be held on June 1st at 7 o'clock at 6 o'clock if we need a closed session. With that, we are adjourned.